Oh, oh, hello. 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 Hey, hello? Oh, okay, hello. There you are. Where are you at? What about you, Hank?
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now. It's a Friday edition of The Drive. Weekend's here. For the small percentage of you that are mad because this is not your weekend because of your work hours, suckers. Get with it. Conform. Deal. Unless you're making like a bunch of money, then we're the real suckers. I am Dave. That is Kyle. I'm glad Kyle's back today. I was worried. There was a couple of rough moments yesterday where I thought he might get the axe after his colossal blunder.
It's brutal by me.
It goes to show you, Kyle, in some places and with the company we work for, and we are so proud to work for Bonneville, forgiveness can happen. Forgiveness can happen. Kyle, there's a lot of stuff, man. We honestly should have, like, this segment be the first half hour.
We really should.
There is so much to get to. I don't know what it is, though, because apparently I didn't do a rundown last night.
Yeah, you did.
I did? It's funny, because I don't see a rundown in front of me.
Oh, yeah, it's because I got it in here.
Yeah. So you have all the rundowns?
Yep.
Right.
Well, Eunice has one. I give one to Eunice.
Well, Eunice has a rundown. That's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eunice didn't publicly humiliate me yesterday, so. It's 6:05. It's time to call Sierra Pacific for this winter's best deal on a new furnace. Call Sierra Pacific now, 800-551-3040. I
want to get to Kyle being at Golden One Center last night. I also don't want to forget some things. No, you don't have to bring in the rundown. Okay. First off, the president of the company is coming today. I got an email last night. Well, no. I got an email when I woke up. We should actually get a platter, like a golden platter for the rundown. Thank you, Kyle. Please rise. Thank you. Kyle's doing the whole, like, delivery thing. Kyle's just, at this point, I feel like half of what Kyle does is trying to get on the best of clips for video that Eunice does so well. Like, you're starting out, we're on the TV at cage2k.com. I think Kyle's pre-planning video bits. That's what I think.
Instead of just I got a notebook of bits.
I know exactly
visual
what
bits.
You're doing.
No, that was more me being a sarcastic jerk than.
Well, I started out being sarcastic.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I was really mad.
Yeah.
So the president of the company is going to be in the building today, and I woke up to that email after I had already been dressed. Now, notice I'm wearing a King's windbreaker and a hat, so it's not like I'm in a suit. But I was in, like, some dark not sweatpants. Those are the fuzzy ones. What do you call when they're, like, silky? Not a jumpsuit.
Track pants?
No. Track pants are the ones that are the windbreaker material.
Well, not necessarily.
No?
They could also, like a tracksuit?
Like, there's sweats on the inside, but the outside of them isn't like the fuzzy, velvety.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so I had that and, whatever. Anyways. I was like, I can't do that. I better put on a King's windbreaker. So he's in the building, found out about that this morning.
I'm wearing my quarter zip of the company I used to work for.
Yeah, very good.
This is the company that paid me full time.
I think we should just, you know what? You should ask. You run into
just like, hey, Prez.
Mr. President, let's be respectful. Excuse me, Mr. President. Kyle Madsen here. Hey,
the drive's Kyle Madsen. You may know me from our best of clips on Kyle, Instagram and Twitter.
I saw your apology yesterday. Yes, sir. I'd like to.
He's like, saw your apology yesterday. Actually, was gonna bring the contract. Saw your mess up, and that was it.
Threw it out the window. I'd like to be full time. Okay, wow, that'd be jumping a couple rungs of management if you did that.
Would be a power move by me.
Really would be.
Would also probably get me fired by tomorrow. 10:05.
Yeah, I think so. Secondly, sometimes you see clips on YouTube that people send me stuff all the time. Sometimes you see stuff and you're really angry that you haven't seen it before. That happened to me this morning. I don't know how I haven't seen. I believe it was shortly after George Harrison of the Beatles died. It was Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne, Steve Winwood, and Prince doing While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
That's incredible.
I knew Prince was a really, 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 really good guitar player. I didn't know he was Hendrix-level guitar player.
Yeah, remember that clip surfaced, or I can't remember if it was a clip or an interview. Someone, I think it was Rolling Stone, asked Clapton what it was like to be the best guitar player on earth. And he's like, I don't know, ask Prince.
Right. I do remember that. And that's from Clapton.
Yeah.
Dude. Right? Yeah. Insane. Okay. I'm trying to check things off because I want to get to Golden One. Third, update. So remember the one engineer that was like, well, I wouldn't do the whole AirPods thing, but if you want to. And I told you, he's like the more personable one. So our other engineer got into town yesterday. In fact, you and I believe, were outside when they arrived. So I go into his office once they get all settled. And, of course, this happens. I'm like, hey, I was talking to this guy, the other engineer. I don't want to name them all. And, hey, do you think this would work? And, of course, I get, again, remember, the one engineer didn't like the idea. But he was like, no, I mean, you can try it out. It's fine. So then our guy comes back. We'll just call him Jason. He comes back into town, and he's like, and he takes one look, and he's like, nah, dude, you can't do that. I'm like, why? He goes, you got to plug it in. There's like phantom power, and there's so much power in there. And then not to get too technical. And then he says a bunch of really technical stuff. And he's like, and then if it shocks the board and, it kills the board, don't come to me. And that's like $10,000.
I called it.
We both called it. We were both like, we never argued.
No, I know, but you asked me A or B, and I said both.
Yeah.
And that's what you got.
That's what it's just. You're telling me that this is like $100,000 setup. Like, this is all prime, pristine stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I put a Bluetooth receiver in the headphone jack and just plug it in right there, could blow the whole thing up. I mean, we've got monitors and phones. I'm just saying.
Is this something that you're willing to question?
No, he's the guy. I'm not going to question him. I mean, I'm not even saying he's wrong. I'm just saying. When they close the book on me and him, okay, on the tombstone for him, it's gonna say guy who said no to me about things. It's just always a slam door, slam door, slam door, slam door.
If Dan, or what was his fake name, Jason?
Jason.
If Jason were to tell me, hey, it's raining outside, and I went outside and it was sunny, I would figure the weather was wrong.
Right. I understand. I mean, Jason is the guy that put all this video stuff together, so there's that.
Yeah, I mean, he's
all right, and then
that's fine.
And then finally, did I tell you I found out? We're going to go long. No, we're going to go long here. No, we got to get to Golden One.
We can get to Golden One next segment.
When are we going to get to Golden One? In
we
Morning
can get
Brew?
to it. Next segment. Kings beat the Pistons. They kicked the crap out of the Pistons.
Okay,
and I'll tell you about my.
Did I say this week that I found out? Did I talk about when I was watching the Magic with my kids, the Orlando Magic?
Yes, and Mo Bamba.
I've talked about. So now I'm at the point where, like, it's still in my craw. I don't want to be that guy. But do I have a responsibility to – I'm pretty close with the people at school. Like, I have a good relationship with them because my kids have gone to these schools for a while. Like, should I say, hey, what are you doing playing Uncut Mo Bamba at the dance?
Bamba!
But then I'm like that guy.
Yeah.
I'm like the guy in Footloose, the bad guy. And I don't want to be that guy.
Are your kids worse because of it?
Well, that's the general question. I mean, in today's day and age, it's gone way too far now. Before, it used to be horrible, like Footloose. Don't dance, don't touch, stay this far away from each other. Now it's like, so what? So there's swearing and violence in a song. What, you gonna keep your kids sheltered forever? My kids are 9. And I let them swear in the house because that's how they get across their emotions. It doesn't make them bad.
My kid learned to talk by watching Bloodsport.
Right, exactly. Like, it's all the way on the other side now. I don't want to be a prude, but I don't know if, like, uncut Sheck West at an 11-year-old dance is the way to go. All right, when we get back. Morning Brew, but not really. More like Morning Kyle. All right. We have 3 stories here, but the top story is Kyle Madsen went to Golden One Center for the first time last night.
Kings are 1-0 when I'm in attendance.
I don't want to spoil what Kyle's going to say because I honestly don't know. It's his review. I will say one thing he said to me before the show. He said, and I quote, "You guys worked that hard for that piece of trash." And I was like, wow.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
I didn't say that.
I mean, if you want to back off of it, that's fine. We'll take a break. Text line at 441140. Wake up, texters. Text another Jiffy Lube at text line 339-1140 on the Firewings hotline. We're back in 4. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Giles, great pass to Bagley, plants for the jump hook, it bounces and settles in. Giles will get credit for the assist. Bagley gets the bucket. They bang hands at midcourt. Kings on an 8-0 run. They have equaled their biggest lead of the night at 99-77.
112-102 was the final. Kings beat the Pistons by 10 in a game that really wasn't that close.
No.
Pistons did outscore the Kings 28-21. I think Dave Yeager used 17 timeouts in the fourth quarter.
It was really funny when the Pistons cut it to, I think, 14 with like 5 minutes left, and Yeager put the starters back in. There was just this like restlessness that went around it. Like, oh no, it's happening again. But then they got a bucket and a stop and another bucket.
Who's the Pistons coach from Toronto?
Dwayne Casey.
Dwayne Casey, thank you. Don Casey. At one point on the broadcast, I couldn't see what they were saying. But Grant said something like, and Dwayne, there was maybe like a minute and a half, 2 minutes left in the game. And Grant just makes a remark like, Dwayne Casey and Dave Yeager having a conversation at midcourt. And then the camera goes back to the regular angle, and it just shows like Yeager walking away drinking his bottle of water. I don't know what they said, and I'm not even going to speculate. But the first thing I thought was Casey went over to Yeager and was like, what are you doing? Like, we got it. Second night of a back-to-back, dude, you're calling 17 timeouts. Like, I'm not going to put anybody in. Can we just end the game?
Yeah.
Like, I won't foul anyone. We just want to go home. Like, you win.
My favorite play, I think it was the Kings' second to last possession, but Frank Mason like drove and got bumped a little bit, and just kind of, there should have probably been a foul, but he just like took like 4 steps backwards with the ball like up at his head.
Sure.
And there was no foul call, no travel call. He throws it out to Harry, and Harry like caught it and stopped and was looking around because he was expecting there to be a whistle for something. And like the refs had just totally checked out.
Yeah,
like we're getting this game done with.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about in this game. By the way, line was 5 points, I think. Then when Blake got announced out, it shot up to 8.5 points. A lot of people still took that 8.5 points.
Yeah, minus 8.5 was easy money.
Got a little hairy at the end, Kyle. Kings won by 10.
Nah, it was fine.
Got a little hairy at the end, Kyle.
Never a doubt.
Ooh. Yeah, we'll talk about a lot of this later, including we're going to very much praise, hug, and love Willie Cauley-Stein today.
I'm just saying, when I'm in attendance, Willie Cauley-Stein is averaging 14 and 14 and 5 in his career.
I'm not mushing. You know what? I'm not mushing your first experience at Golden One into Morning Brew. Our next segment is going to lead with I want an outsider's opinion.
Okay.
On Golden One Center, good and bad. Or, as in Kyle's case, based on what he's told me, bad and good.
It is 4th and goal at the 2.
Off the tree.
Sproul to the right of Foles. 3 receivers to the far side of the field. Foles takes the snap. He rolls. He looks. He fires. And it is complete. It is complete. Touchdown, Golden Tate. And the Eagles regain the lead.
Wow.
Golden Tate.
Can't believe you said that about Kings fans. Nick Foles, Golden Tate.
No, that Kings fan.
Oh, sorry. The NFL playoffs continue this weekend. We're getting close to championship weekend. By the way, that's there. Then you get the week off, and then hey, now it's the Super Bowl. Hey, Kyle, am I wrong?
Yes.
Thank you. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. What else am I wrong about? Am I wrong in saying, look at the games today, this morning? I was just looking at all 4 matchups. It's like, okay, I think I know what's going to happen in at least 2 of these, if not 3. This is what I love about this time of year, though. Every single one of these games could go the other way.
Yeah, I was chatting with Damien yesterday about this.
Oh, chatting with Damien. I know Damien Barlow.
There are scenarios where if you talked me into all 4 road teams winning, like if you came back from the future and said 4 road teams win this weekend, I wouldn't doubt it.
Sean Salisbury nailed it last Friday. He said 3 or 4 road teams would win, and that's exactly what happened. We'll ask him later today. I am also curious, speaking of Vegas, so the lines on these games are 5.5, 7, 4, and 8. I'm sure it doesn't exist. Well, then again, who knows? I'd love to see where that, like, the combined line, like if you add all those numbers together, where that ranks into that, because it seems like a lot of really high lines for this time of year.
The Saints giving 8 sounds like a lot of points.
I mean, either the Saints are just going to blow them out, or the Eagles are going to win. Like, I don't see a middle ground.
Yeah. If it's close, the Eagles are winning.
Beat again, dude. Number 3.
Roethlisberger throws over the middle, intercepted by Sean Williams. Running to the 50, down the far sideline to the 40, on his feet at the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown!
How about that?
Sean Williams intercepting Ben Roethlisberger and sprinting 59 yards.
How about that? That's right. Great job, color commentator guy. I don't even know who he is. That's not the point, is to rip on the Bengals radio team. The Rams quarterbacks coach, Zac Taylor. Looks like he's going to be the Bengals' next head coach. He's 35.
Have you seen Kevin Clark's flow chart?
Yes, I have. Where it's like, do you know Sean McVay? Yes, you're hired. No,
you're not hired.
You're not hired. I mean, we're getting to the point where pretty soon it's going to be like Sean McVay's babysitter is going to be the next person hired. Jeez.
I knew a guy who pet Sean McVay's neighbor's dog one time.
Oh, he's a petting genius. The way he does it's pretty amazing. I mean, I don't know. I was reading some old takes on Sean McVay.
Sure.
And it was like, oh, this is a huge mistake. This guy's
right,
who knows?
But Matt LaFleur was his quarterback's coach.
Right.
Who was an offensive coordinator for 1 year in Tennessee. Didn't have a ton of success, and now he's the head coach in Green Bay. The Bengals just skipped that whole charade of hiring him as the OC, and they're like, yeah, get in here. Be a head coach.
Yeah, isn't it usually it's coordinators?
And I think the biggest thing here is players know. Like, players aren't stupid. They're going to go, this guy has no experience. What is this guy? How has this guy earned my respect?
Can't wait for Zac Taylor to address Vontaze Burfict, the first meeting they all have. I'm sure Vontaze is just going to be, how you doing, coach?
Hey, Vontaze, the whole, trying to hurt people thing, can you maybe stop?
Yeah, just stop.
Please.
It's not cool, Vontaze.
Here's our sticker chart. For every day you go without trying to hurt somebody,
yes.
give you a gold star.
It's like my kids. They have these little paper.
It's like a chore chart.
Yeah. And you clip up and down based on your performance, your behavior. You can get Vontaze to clip up, clip down.
You rate your kids?
No. That's at school.
Oh.
No, I'm saying at school.
I thought you had this at home.
No. Well, I mean, it's not the worst idea. Anything you can do.
Just like,
get your kids to do what you want them to do.
Mason. You're going down. Going down the chart today.
That's a bad round for you, buddy. We'll take a break when we come back. Kings beat the Pistons. We'll have a couple highlights. The Peckus brothers' moment of the game. And Kyle Madsen's Kyle's first trip to Golden One. And you had a lovely date with you, too?
I did.
That was her first NBA game. Is that correct?
Yes. She had a King shirt on and everything. She's a Kings fan.
Girl. I love this girl. Too good for you, pal. In fact, if she's listening right now, leave. Go find a Kings fan. No offense, Kyle. Literally, how could that not be offense? That was all offense to you.
That was the whole bit there was offending me.
100%. That was so much offense. I'm going to get hired as the next coach in Cincinnati. That's how offensive it was. We'll take a break. We'll come back with that after these words from Hoblet and Sports 1140 KG.
Call you Sean McShade.
Saturday on Sports.
This is Kyle Madsen with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Sacramento Kings got up big on the Detroit Pistons and did not relinquish the lead this time. They walked away with a 112-102 win behind 14 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists from Willie Cauley-Stein. 7 Kings scored in double figures. Sacramento's off tonight. They welcome the Hornets into Golden One Center tomorrow. Russell Westbrook's historic 24-point, 13-rebound, 24-assist night was not enough to overcome LaMarcus Aldridge's career-high 56 points in the Spurs' 154-147 win in double overtime over the Thunder last night. Westbrook is the first player ever to post at least 24 points, 24 assists, and 13 rebounds in a game. He joins Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson as the only players in NBA history with multiple 20-point, 20-assist, and 10-rebound games. It's 6:33. Time to get ready for the International Sportsman's Expo, January 17th through the 20th at Cal Expo. Get tickets at sportsexpos.com. BREW.com. Those are your top stories. And now back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something? I thought it was a good update. I thought you might have struggled maybe a little bit there. You know where. But overall, that was a heck of an update. You ready to get back to the show?
Yeah.
So am I.
You got a rejoin up for us?
Welcome back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
What do you think I was just vamping?
No, I thought you were trying to give me positive feedback about my update.
It's a great update.
Thanks, man.
Welcome back to the drive. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. A lot of splits on our new music. It just, not everybody's the same, but it just kind of reinforces what we've talked about before. Sometimes people just get used to stuff, man. They just get used to it.
Hey, I don't like that thing that you like.
Exactly. People don't like change, man. They want Toto's Africa, and that's it. They want Disturbed, Jet, some Muse. See that Spurs Oklahoma City game? At least I know you were at the game last night. But obviously you heard about it.
Yeah.
My God. Russell Westbrook, 24, 24, and 11.
The first time I checked in, it was the end of the first overtime, and he had 24, 24, and 13.
Okay, so which if I'd have told you at the end of the show yesterday, I said, okay, one of these two things is going to happen, Kyle. Russell Westbrook is going to go 24, 24, and 11 tonight.
13.
What did I say? Oh, I'm sorry, 13. Or LaMarcus Aldridge is going to have 56 and 9. Which one do you think is more likely? Wow, you already took longer than I would. I would have been like, oh, dude, Westbrook.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
that's
Westbrook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that LaMarcus Aldridge sucks at all. He's good. But
if you told me it went to double overtime, yeah, Westbrook. That's just such a
56 points for LaMarcus Aldridge. That's honestly, I don't think you can beat Derrick Rose's 50. But that, I think, is going to be the second most surprising scoring number this year.
Yeah.
I just didn't I didn't see that.
56, even in 10 extra minutes for LaMarcus Aldridge. That's crazy.
I would have told you if you'd have given me a choice between LaMarcus Aldridge getting 50 points this year or 30 rebounds this year, I would have picked 30 rebounds. So well, maybe he'll have a game where he has 12 points and 30 rebounds. You were at the game last night.
I was.
The Sacramento Kings, a couple of cold hard facts brought to you by Coors Light in the 835. I'll skip ahead here. The Sacramento Kings are undefeated in the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
The Sacramento Kings have yet to lose when Kyle Madsen's girlfriend attends Golden One.
It's a great point.
You also were there. This was your first visit.
It was. It was my first visit during a basketball game.
Right. Now, you had been to Arco.
I had.
You and I were talking about this yesterday. You were there opening night when the Kings stayed, that game versus the Nuggets. You've been to Oracle, not the baseball stadium, the basketball place. So this was really the first new arena you've been to. Yeah.
And I didn't ever have really a reference point. I would just hear about how kind of bad Oracle was. Mm-hmm. And my only other reference point for it was Arco.
Sure.
So I was kind of like, Oracle's not that bad. I guess it's a nice arena.
Sure.
And then I walked into Golden One last night, and it was like, oh, this is what a nice arena looks like. Now I get it.
Still has that new arena smell.
Yeah. It's just the just how open it is. Like as soon as you walk in the door, you can see the floor. The video board's awesome. The in-arena entertainment's great. The food options are great. The lines weren't bad.
Did you park okay? Any issues with parking?
Yeah. We actually paid for parking online.
Yeah, there you go. That's
which is the move, dude.
It is
and we parked right there,
yep.
Right across the street.
Yep. That is the move.
And then walked in, and the staff were all super friendly.
Yeah.
It was a really good arena game going experience.
Were you able to get to your seats in the first and third quarters when game play started, or did you have issues?
I had no issues. I left my seat once, I think, at the end of the third quarter to go to the bathroom.
So did you eat or drink anything during the game?
Yep.
And got it all wet before?
Yeah, grabbed it before, got in our seats, and saw all the pregame stuff.
There you go.
It was great, man. It was a really good time.
What would you like to see different? What would you like to see change there?
They did a kiss cam, and I personally find the kiss cam offensive. No, what would I like to see change? The starting lineup, I would like to see Marvin Bagley in the starting lineup.
I got you.
I think Arena Ops should take care of that.
Yeah, Scott Moak needs to get on that.
Yeah, he really, really does. I honestly thought Scott Moak featured too much. A lot of Moak.
Wow. Too much Moak.
Just throwing a bunch of shade.
Wait till that gets there.
Just throwing a bunch of shade at Scott Moak. No, he's fantastic, obviously.
Yeah, okay. Way to take care of it. Can I just say the text line today is just really disappointing? It's 6:39. We're just into the show.
Nice.
Huh?
6:39. Nice.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's not that they're even bad texts or angry text. It's not like that. I'm saying the volume of text is it's making me wondering if we're going out on the antenna machine thing.
I hope that
get on it.
That means people are taking a Friday off.
Sure.
Enjoying the Kings win last night.
You can do all that, but you don't take a Friday off from the show.
Good point.
No days off here, dude. So you were happy overall, and you had yourself a good time. Yeah,
it was really fun. The vibe in the stadium when Detroit cut it to like 14 with 5 minutes left was really funny though.
The rabble, a little bit of
just a lot of like restlessness of like, and it was not comfortable. It was legitimately. There was an uneasiness up until like the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, because they were playing silly, and if they were playing against a team that was any good, like let's be honest.
Oh, if they play exactly that way against I don't know, the Blazers.
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah,
I would say you couldn't play that way against 3/4 of the teams in the NBA.
Yeah. That was tough down the stretch. And I liked. There was one possession where Marvin Bagley came up with a tough rebound and ran the floor and turned the ball over while running the floor. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of mistake. It's like, you know what? Because that's eventually going to be a weapon for the Kings, is him grabbing a rebound and leading the break.
And you know all those big guys want to do that anyway. So they start licking their lips and getting excited at half court.
And I think that's something he's going to eventually be able to do. And you would like him to do that in this situation and not in a 2-point game. So it's like, you know what? But like you said, if they try and do that against a team that's good, because Detroit had probably half a dozen possessions in the final 7 or 8 minutes last night where they could have really gotten back into the game.
And they are just a really bad team.
They're
and on top of being really a bad team, they were on the second day of a back-to-back.
Yep.
Second night of a back-to-back.
On the road
without Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
So the team won, and I'm happy for that.
There was never, for me, there was never a doubt
that the Kings would
win.
Kings
were going to win that game.
Oh, that's
no, just not
for you.
Not mostly because the Pistons were really not good, but the Kings they were outside of that weird stretch of 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. They were the better team for the other 43 minutes.
We'll talk about that much more at 8:05 and at 7:05, including our Peckus Brothers moment of the game. I'm just not really that happy with last night. They won, and I'll get into it at 7:05.
I am, and I'll explain why.
Okay, all right. So we'll argue at 7:05. Coming up next, always been a fan of Tim Tebow, and God bless that kid. Good things come to those who wait.
It's Tim. Wait time to call Sierra Pacific for this winter's best deal on a new furnace. Call Sierra Pacific now, 800-551-3040.
From the 916, a dog limps into a saloon and says, "I'm looking for the man that shot my paw." We'll be back shortly. Sports 1140 KHTK.
That's low volume text, and that's
I will read those texts all day long. That's funny, Kyle.
It
shot my paw.
It's a good text, but that's like our first one of the day.
That's the first good text of the day. Congratulations. Back in a couple. Welcome into the drive. 339-1140.
Love the Rolling Stones. Dude, your face just now.
Dude.
Part of you thought I was serious.
It took me a half a second.
Yeah. The look that was on your face said you thought I was serious for that.
No. Jack White has talent. 339-1140.
Cubs fan.
1-800 he is 920-1140. To an entire generation of people. Jack White is the guy that invented the no, 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 no thing that you see at college football. Yeah. He's more than that, okay? He's more than Seven Nation Army. He also has a lot of crap out
Jack
there,
White alone.
Leave him alone. Art Rooney is the owner, president, whatever, guy in charge of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He says it's hard to envision Antonio Brown on the team next year. So I think we're in a real space here, Kyle, where Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell are both going to be not on the Steelers.
Yeah, I think Bell, it's a foregone conclusion. As far as Antonio Brown, you can read more about that at NinersWire.com. Okay, next topic. No, with Brown, it's a little different because he said they're not going to cut him, but they're also not going to give him away for a fourth rounder.
I mean,
so they're in a weird space where
are we sure about that? Are we sure that they're not going to get a 30-year-old guy with a little bit of cash on his contract? Who I'm not saying a fourth rounder. I'm saying Amari Cooper got a first-round pick.
Right. I think 2 years ago, an Antonio Brown trade would have looked something like a Khalil Mack deal. Maybe not to that extent.
Okay.
But I think it would have centered around a first-round pick and a couple of day 2 picks. Maybe a day 2 and so a first rounder, a second rounder, and a fourth or something.
Sure.
Now I think it's going to be like 1 first and maybe like a 7th round pick swap.
Yeah, I feel like that's exactly where I was thinking. I feel like Antonio Brown can be gotten for a first round pick. Depending, number 1 versus number 27, granted, but that's about the price for him.
Like if I'm the 49ers, I might offer a 2020 first, but I'm not offering my number 2 for him. Like, absolutely not.
What about a second rounder?
I think I would do that.
I think so, too. Because
you can get 3 years of, even 3 years of Antonio Brown at 70% is probably better than the receiver you're going to draft.
Antonio Brown, George Kittle, Dante Pettis, Marquise Goodwin, Jimmy Garoppolo, and then what they have at the running game.
Well, and then you look at the Raiders too. They have 3 first-round picks this year.
True.
If you package one of those with,
but doesn't that feel like that's something that feels like something that's a help now, big name that would make Raider fans happy? That seems like the exact opposite of what John Gruden's trying to do. But
if you can do that for one of those first-round picks and still have 2 first-rounders?
He's going to be 32, 31. No, but I'm saying by the time they get to Vegas, 32, I think.
Oh, yeah.
By the time they get to Vegas, I honestly think them trading Derek Carr for picks is more likely than them trading picks for Antonio Brown. No way. Well, I'm just saying, if you look at what Gruden's doing, if you look at every move he's made with the guideline of do everything you can to crap on Oakland at the expense of trying to be good for Vegas, all his moves pretty much make sense.
Sure.
Like, literally, a win now is worth absolutely nothing to them. They're trying to make sure when they get to Vegas, they kill it. I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying that's how I see it.
Sure.
I've always liked Tim Tebow, and this is tough for me. A, I'm not a religious guy. I don't identify with him there, and that's a big part of who he is. B, he's a Florida Gator. Enough said, me being a Florida State guy. But I've always liked him. And I've always thought he's gotten a little bit too much crap from the snarky millennial crowd.
I think he's gotten too much credit.
Well, I'm listen, if you're saying
they put his stupid, I'm going to do everything I can to win every game. Like, yeah, every player is.
Sure.
And they put it on a freaking wall.
He's a motivational dude.
He's annoying.
The Tim Tebow, I have found this to be a highly millennial thing. I really have. And your boy Nate's the same way. Nate Goodyear, our good friend. It's the same crowd that thinks J.J. Watt's a fraud.
Well, he is.
There is this thing.
He's a great, all-time great player. He's a fraud.
Tell me why. I don't want to get into this.
Because there was a perfect example of it is that whole, he's going to go to a log cabin and train in the woods. Like, no, that was a mansion in the woods. We don't need to mythologize this guy.
He's
an incredible player.
But how much of that's the media?
That's it. It's not him.
So J.J. Watt's not a fraud. The media covering him's a fraud. Or they're clickbaiting.
Right. J.J. Watt, the J.J. Watt presented in the media is fraudulent. Correct.
If you want to say there are extravagances in the coverage at times of J.J. Watt, I'll side with you there. But then to say, but you take that and go, oh, J.J. Watt's a fraud.
He's on Hard Knocks doing his exercise. Like, oh, I'm getting exercise.
Sure, they're filming him. He's doing exercises. Oh, look, there's J.J. Watt playing catch with a kid. Cameras go there. Oh, he's doing it for the cameras. Well, why is it that every
Bradley Pinion does that too?
So but nobody cares about Bradley Pinion. Bradley Pinion's not good. J.J. Watt's really good.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what people care about. That's not J.J. Watt. Anytime you have somebody
I don't want to get into an argument about J.J. Watt. I don't care about J.J. Watt. Why are we talking about Tim Tebow?
Anytime Tim Tebow or
Except
somebody like that.
Tim Tebow was actively bad.
But yet is a role model who isn't perfect, stands up for something he believes in.
Sure.
And again, I'm not a religious guy, but that's not the easiest thing to pull off in the locker room sometimes, and he doesn't. He doesn't care. He doesn't care how he comes off.
Does he?
I mean, I don't know.
Does he do it? Because he doesn't play in the NFL anymore.
But why do we automatically look at these people with the side eye? Instead of celebrating them, being like, you know what?
You can if you want.
I know, and I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying I always
wonder. Because for me, the Tebow thing has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that he was really bad at football, and so many people tried to explain that he was good at football when he was not.
I'm certainly not.
That's my problem.
I'm not defending his football acumen.
Yeah, have your religion, have your positivity. That's all terrific. Do that. My issue was very 100% football related, and the fact that I got into so many arguments in college with people who tried to tell me he was actually good when he wasn't.
Well, he's apparently good at picking a wife.
Maybe.
31 years. Yeah.
You don't know her.
31 years old. Oh, I feel like I do, though. 31 years old. Tim Tebow posted photos of him proposing to Demi-Leigh Nel-Peters, a South African native, in the 2017 Miss Universe.
Demi-Leigh Nel-Peters sounds like a Starbucks order.
I'll take a Demi-Leigh Nel-Peters.
No whip.
No whip. Half calf.
Extra hot.
Instagram photos showed the 31-year-old Tebow and the 23-year-old Demi-Leigh Nel-Peters. She's wearing a 7 1/4 carat diamond.
When Tim Tebow turned 21 and could legally drink, his wife was 13 years old.
Whatever. When I was watching, I don't know, Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry at 6, my wife was being born. What do you want from me? They say that's a bad thing. Kidding me? I mean, I married her when she was 23.
And you were 29, so that's way different.
Really? Hey, listen, all I'm saying is Tim Tebow won. He won. Tim Tebow won.
Okay.
He's rich, he's good looking, and he's about to marry.
He's going to have jobs for life.
Yes, and he's going to 2017 Miss Universe. Are we clear on whether or not, by the way, I know we got a break. Are we clear on whether or not, has he been waiting this whole time? Or is there
I feel like he's probably been waiting this whole time. Have you just seen his face? He looks really uptight. Like he's just always like.
I want to see his first broadcast after his honeymoon.
Hey, you got to see on video today. Here's Tim Tebow pre-honeymoon. Here's Tim Tebow post-honeymoon.
So Tim, what'd you think about that play?
Oh God, I don't care. I don't even care.
That's pretty cool. All right. Why is Tim Tebow apparently getting high after his honeymoon? Why are we doing this?
Oh, is that not what we were talking about?
It's going to be like, like when you let a balloon go without tying it up. Just
it's seen in South Park where Randy Marsh steals internet.
Yeah. The end of Ghostbusters when the Marshmallow Man explodes.
Okay. All right.
We'll take a
break. That was way too graphic.
What? I'm talking about, listen, I don't know what you think. I'm talking about good for Tim Tebow. We'll take a break. When we come back.
Excitement over being married.
That's it. I'm excited for the guy.
Me too. Good for him.
Kings next on the Drive. Sports 1140 KHTK.